Welcome to the Dom Sub Devotion Podcast.
Every episode of Dom Sub Devotion shares the lessons learned from our experience of love, devotion, and desire inside of our 24/7 Dom Sub marriage.
We found that dominance and submission is more than just a kink. For us, it's been a path to deep intimacy and desire that lasts over the long term. We share our experience through this podcast to be the example that we didn't have when we started down this path, and to help you find your way to a dynamic that works in your real life.
You can learn more about us and our courses and offerings in the show notes and at infinitedevotion.com. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Dom Sub Devotion. My name is Andrew, and on Dom Sub Devotion, I teach about what it takes to be able to live loving, healthy, dominant, submissive dynamics inside of good relationships. Last week's episode was called Why Won't He Just Lead? And that episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, spoke to women about some of the challenges that men face in stepping into a dominant role. And on today's episode, which I'm titling, Why Won't She Just Let Go? I'm hoping to do the same for men, to give you a sense of compassion for how difficult it really is for a woman to let go, to surrender, to submit, even when she wants to. Sometimes especially when she wants to, because when she wants to, then it's real. And there's so much frustration that I hear from men when they get into relationships, power exchange dynamics, maybe inside of a marriage like Dawn and I did, where you're trying to integrate these dynamics into a relationship that already has some history. Or when you're seeking out a new partner and when you are starting to interact with a new partner. There is a real sense of frustration on the part of men for why it is that a woman will continue to try to control things, why she will still question things, why she will test him, why she will challenge him. And this will stir some stuff up. And so my hope with this episode is for the men that you will have a little bit more compassion for her as to why it's so hard, why it's not just as easy as making a decision. So for the men listening to this episode, I also want you to go back and listen to last week's episode, Why Won't He Just Lead? Because that will also speak to some of this for you. Because some of the reasons why you have a challenge leading are the same reasons why she has trouble letting go, why she will keep on trying to control things. So let's dive in a little bit. The truth is that she probably does want to let go. Most women, especially anybody who would be listening to this podcast or anytime you're talking to someone about entering into a dom-sub dynamic, crave the feeling of surrender, of submission, of being out of control, of not having to be in charge of everything. Being able to melt, so to speak, just stop managing everything and overthinking, and to feel safe enough to be soft. But as I said before, wanting to let go and being able to let go are two very different things. Because her mind might say that I trust you, but her nervous system might be saying, that's not safe, that's not okay, everything is going to fall apart. Terrible things are going to happen if you actually let go, if you actually trust. So she can say it, but that does not mean that she is able to actually do it. Because surrender doesn't happen because you told her that it's safe. She can't trust you because she said that she trusts you. Trust is something that she has to feel. She has to feel. And her body is keeping the score of every moment, past and present, in your relationship, if this isn't something that you're integrating into an existing relationship, but also all the way back to the very, very first moment that she was born. Every single moment where trust was broken, where she didn't feel safe, where promises were made and not kept, where there was integrity that didn't turn out to be real, when being soft and vulnerable cost her something. She remembers those things, and they impact how she feels. So that shows up then in the present moment by holding on to control, sometimes even of just small things like questioning. Well, did you think about, or what, those little questions that might get under your skin, or things she just can't or won't let go of, because letting go feels dangerous to a part of her that's deeper than what she is speaking with her mouth. She might say she wants to follow your lead, but then when you actually lead, all sorts of walls go up and fear, like you can feel the fear in her system. She might pull back when you start getting close to some intensity in kink in the bedroom. But it's not because she doesn't want it. It's because her body remembers what it feels like to fall and not be caught. And this isn't her being manipulative. This is about the environment that her body is responding to. Her body is, and her feeling body, guys, the way she feels, is responding to more than just the moment. Her body is responding to every other moment where she felt unsafe, where she felt dropped. And that's where your leadership begins. That's where real dominance begins, because from this place, you're not trying to convince her to let go, but this is where you start learning to build the kind of safety where she can feel trust instead of just speaking it or trying to trust. So let me just say this part clearly, guys. You do not need to do anything to make your woman submit to you or to surrender to you. When you become the kind of man whose presence impacts her, where she feels safe, then she can begin to unwind those patterns of needing to protect herself. So let's dive into a little bit of something that I call the mirror of resistance. Before we start judging her resistance, we have to understand it. Because what looks like defiance or disobedience or control is usually just self-protection. And she's protecting herself from feeling pain again that she felt in the past. So the question that you need to ask isn't why won't she let go? It's what in me still feels unsafe for her to fall into. So when a woman resists your leadership, guys, it's very easy for us to get frustrated. It feels frustrating. And it's pretty easy a lot of times, especially when you're early in this, to start blaming her, pointing the finger at her. Why does everything have to be so hard? Why can't she just follow me? Why can't she just let go? But what if her resistance, just suspend disbelief here for the next 45 minutes, guys. Suspend all of the disbelief you might have over what I'm saying and just consider this. Because there are parts of it that are going to feel absolutely false to you. I want you just to consider this. What if her resistance is just feedback? What if her body The resistance, the control patterns, the collapse, the withdrawal, all of this. What if her body is showing you in real time where your avoidance is living? What if she's showing you that there are parts of you that want to lead, but you're actually afraid to fully claim it? Because guys, just like she struggles to let go because she's afraid of losing safety, you also struggle to lead because you're afraid of being rejected. You're both doing the same dance on opposite sides. You might hesitate to lead because you fear being controlling, and then she hesitates to follow because she fears being dominated or not being good enough. You might wait for permission before you step forward, but she's waiting for you to step forward before she's going to ever feel safe enough to surrender. She might be waiting for proof of your strength before she can even let go of control. All of this fear is impacting the dynamic. And when you're tentative, when you're not sure, when you're not certain in yourself, she's going to feel this, right? We have to remember that women are hypersensitive feeling instruments. They're very, very sensitive to energy. So are we as men. But she's very sensitive to danger. And so when you are not certain, sure, solid, calm, still, grounded, you are showing her energetically that there's a reason not to be safe. There's something uncertain here. When you are reactive, you're showing her that you feel unsafe. She feels unsafe, and then she gets defensive. When you hold back because you don't feel solid in yourself, she steps forward and fills that space because someone needs to. She's not trying to take control, guys. She doesn't want to take control. I can almost promise you. But she's absolutely needing to find some sort of safety and stability. And so every time that you look to her for reassurance, her body feels like you don't have yourself, and she needs to have herself and you. So in a lot of cases, her resistance isn't rejection, it's a resonance. It's an energy mirroring your own instability. A woman's body reads your nervous system, the things below the surface, the feelings you don't even want to admit that you're having. She reads that faster than you can ever even try to convince her of anything. If you're living in hope or trying or proving or anything else, she feels that little hesitation that's not certainty in you. And her body says, we're not safe again, something's uncertain here. That's real. You feel that the control that you feel her jumping forward and trying to take, by that point it's already done. When your energy says, I've got you, I've got this, I've got me, I have everything under control. Even if something doesn't go right, I will handle it. I've got you. Then she will just exhale. The thing that you have to understand is that if you try to fix her resistance, you are validating the reason why she's resisting in the first place. When she feels uncertainty in you, and she feels unsafe, and she jumps into control, and then you react to, well, why are you? Well, now you've just shown her that you aren't in control, because now you're criticizing her for doing exactly what she needed to do because of how you are feeling. when you try to control her surrender, she will only resist harder because your attempts to control show her that you don't feel okay unless you have everything under control. Presence is what you need to develop here. When you have a sense of presence, and I don't want to just say that flippantly, because being able to be fully present in the moment, in your body, with your woman, is a absolute fucking gauntlet to walk in here, inside yourself. But when you can find your way to that place, her body will soften on its own. You don't need to tell her to do anything. You won't need to try to convince her to surrender, to submit, to let go. So the more you let go of the need to make her submit, the more her submission becomes possible. And it's real, because your groundedness, your inner dominance, tells her without words that she's safe, that she can let go. So you might be able to ask yourself, where do you start to tighten up when she doesn't follow your lead immediately? The fact that you're tightening up or feeling reactive is evidence not that she's not submitting to you. It's evidence that you don't feel okay when she doesn't follow you, which, again, reinforces the fact that she's already feeling you not feeling solid, which is why she's controlling or reacting in the first place. So every time that she tests you, she's really asking one question. It's, can I trust the ground that you stand on? When you feel her poking at you and you get a rise up inside of yourself, she's found the thing. She knows where to poke because she feels that energy. So your work is to notice where you react when she resists, and to dive in. When I talk about that gauntlet, dive inward into yourself to look at, why did I just react there? Why did that make me feel so uncomfortable? Stop blaming her. And also, this doesn't mean you need to blame yourself. You don't need to shit on yourself. You don't need to get down on yourself because you don't get this right. This is tough stuff. This is inner work. So I start with this part because as the masculine force in a relationship, as the dominant in a relationship, it's our job to go first. It's our job to look at ourselves and to consider where we may actually be a part of the cause of the thing that we don't want, or that's not going the way that we want it to go. But we also need to talk about why letting go feels so dangerous to her. Because when a woman struggles to let go of control, it's very rarely because she doesn't want to let go of control. Again, as I said at the beginning, it's because at some point in her past, maybe even inside of your relationship, letting go cost her something. It cost her safety, it cost her dignity, it cost her self-respect. Somewhere along the line, she learned that vulnerability and softness and surrender and being out of control leads to pain. She learned that trusting too much means getting hurt, that following a man means disappearing. So when you ask her to let go and she has trouble letting go, she's not saying no to you. She's not just saying no to you. She's saying no because of all of those ghosts from the past and all of those things that she felt and didn't get to express, and all of the fears that she's carrying with her from every time that she wasn't safe when she softened or let go before. Most women crave surrender. You would be fascinated at my direct messages, my inbox, at the types of women who crave the type of relationship that we have. Powerful women, elderly women, so many different walks of life. It has me convinced more than ever before, as time goes on, that this is something that every woman craves. But her nervous system can't distinguish between surrender and danger when surrender hasn't ever felt safe to her. To her body, to her nervous system, letting go is like stepping off of a cliff. It's like jumping out of an airplane without knowing if she has a parachute that works. Her whole system floods with uncertainty, anxiety, all of the fears, all those ghosts from the past. Because being able to surrender means being able to trust. And it means vulnerability. And trust and vulnerability are inherently risky. And even if she consciously trusts you, even if she says she trusts you, even if you know that she trusts you, her body might still be holding memories that are saying to her when she tries to actually put that trust into practice, that's not safe. That's not okay. We're not doing that again. Memories of being used, of being misunderstood, of being controlled, of being abused, of being hurt and damaged in some way, unseen, uncared for. And it doesn't matter how much she tries to convince herself that this time is different. Down here, in her body, in her heart, it doesn't matter how many times she said she's healed. Her body only cares if she feels safe right now, and that's not just with you. It's safe inside herself, and there's more voices in there than just yours. And oh, by the way, society reinforces this programming. From a young age, women get rewarded for all of the ways that they control themselves, that they are responsible, that they are composed, that they're a good girl, that they keep it together, that they are strong, that they get good grades, that they're independent and capable. But all of that societal programming is layered on top of all of those experiences she had. And that's telling her that you will be lovable as long as you are good, as long as you do everything right, as long as you're perfect. Then you will deserve love, then you will be worthy of love. And so there are all of these voices inside of her head there too. So she learns how to lead herself, to hold herself, to not depend on anyone. The number of women who have told me that their mothers told them to never trust or depend on a man, to always be able to live without a man, breaks my heart and fascinates me that would be a topic of conversation in so many households, but I've heard that more times than I can count. So all of these things have taught her that she's not safe, that she has to be in control, she has to be able to take care of herself. So when she meets a man who says you can let go now, or she tries to shift inside of a relationship where she's been in control into letting go of control, it would be foolish of us. It would be inconsiderate, incompassionate, and deeply insensitive of us to just immediately flip a switch and relax. That entire history is skeptical. It's watching. It's asking her in the background, are you safe? Is this actually okay? If you actually do this, think of what happened last time. That takes time. Guys, it takes time. You have to be willing to be patient with this. She wants it to be over as fast as you do. But she can't force herself through this, and you can't force her through this either. You can't make rules. You can't get her to agree to it. You can't create enough rituals to make this go any faster than it's going to go. The only thing you can do is focus on you, on doing your part. So when you see her gripping for control or having that reactive little moment of like trying to tell you what to do or trying to question your decisions, don't meet it with judgment. Look at that with understanding. When you've done your own inner child work as a man, you will develop a sense of compassion for the inner child in your woman that feels very unsafe. And being able to recognize and understand and have compassion for the fact that she feels this resistance, even if she doesn't want to feel it, because she's scared, not because she's bad. You will understand that she's not wrong for protecting herself. This is actually very wise. It's been a very valuable, important survival strategy for her. That control is what got her to this point. It's what helped her survive. But it's not going to help her thrive. And what she needs in order to thrive is a new place where she can experience something different. So you will get much farther to help her let go of control, to help her submit and surrender, if you let her feel scared. If you accept her when she tries to control. If you realize that this is a deep protection mechanism lashing out at you, not a bad submissive or a nagging, controlling woman. Have compassion for what's driving that behavior, and you meet it with a different energy. She's never been accepted for feeling how she feels. She's always been told she's wrong. She's always been told she's bad. When you meet her feeling with acceptance and realize that it's probably not about you, or even if it is about you, it's about you from the past. And just stay there with her. Hold her. That is what begins to rewire safety. And when a woman's body has spent years defending herself and protecting herself against the world and everything around her, surrender, submission, they feel like danger. But every time that she meets up to a steady, grounded presence and sees that nothing bad happens when she relaxes, she learns something different. She learns that she can be safe. And when you can have the kind of patience and compassion for her that you are going to need to have if you ever want to experience a woman who is out of control, then you are going to need to move slowly so that it can come naturally, so that it can be real. And when it starts to become real, she's going to test to find out if it's really true. And now, guys, I know when I talk about testing, a lot of men roll their eyes, they get annoyed with the idea that their woman tests them. You maybe did some reading back in the manosphere days about shit tests and how it's like she's just shit testing you. And to think, like, why does this have to be so fucking hard? Why can't she just trust me? But her tests aren't about making your life hard. It's about her trying to see if she's safe enough to give you exactly what you are asking from her. She's not consciously sitting there thinking, let me push his buttons and see how he reacts. She's constantly scanning for stability, for strength, for safety. It's just like when a baby, a child, learns how to walk and they start to wobble and they grab onto something. That's what she's doing when she tests you. She's trying to learn how to live in a surrendered state, to let go. She maybe is feeling herself come into that a little bit and it feels uncertain. And then she reaches out to grab onto something steady. And when she reaches out to grab onto something steady and you go, why are you... You just showed her you're not steady. Her tests are her nervous system asking the question of, is this trustworthy? Is this solid? It's like leaning up against something and see, like, she wants to believe that the wall she's leaning up against isn't going to fall over. She's trying to feel your steadiness. So every time you sigh, you roll your eyes, you get defensive, emotionally reactive in this. All of these are ways that you're showing her that you aren't solid, that your wall falls over. And this might show up even in ways that don't feel very good, like picking a fight to see if you're going to fight back or if you're going to react. She might withdraw emotionally to see if you're going to get needy and chase after her. She might question, like, why did you take this direction instead of the other way? That would have been faster. She might poke at your edges. She's not doing this on purpose. She doesn't even realize she does it, probably. But she definitely isn't doing it because she wants to disrespect you or be mean to you. She's wobbling. And if you can be solid, her wobble will lean into you and you'll catch her. If she wobbles and you fall over, or you fall on top of her because you attack, her body learns that you are not safe, you're not solid. Her tests are so important. She's not looking for a perfect man, guys. There's a lot of men who start to hear this, see this, feel this, and think, oh, now I have to be perfect. I have to never react. I have to never... No. This isn't about perfect. This is about building steadiness. Evolution wired her to survive through connection. So if the person who she trusts is unstable, she's at risk. So she's testing for her own safety. She's not testing because she doesn't think you're strong enough. And you don't have to be perfect. But what you do need to do is recognize that when you wobble, when she wobbles and then you fall over or you lash out or whatever you do, she's just revealed something very important for you. So instead of blaming her for being controlling, for nagging, for questioning, for, whatever, instead of blaming her, use that. Because next time that she goes, well, why did you take this way? The other way would have been 2 minutes faster. You don't have to freak out because it doesn't matter. You can just look at her calmly and say, I've got you. And just keep driving. And she might ask again. But when you don't waver because when she's wavering, when you don't go, why do you always question me? Or, oh, fuck. Whatever the way that you react is. When you don't do that, now she has a different experience. But when you do, you learn something about where you feel uncomfortable with her testing you. And when you reframe this idea of her tests to recognize that she's looking for your safety, she's looking for safety in you. She's actually trying to surrender to you when she tests you. Because if you can hold up to that, you've shown her that she can surrender to you. That's an actual, real life act of surrender. When she pushes back and you don't move. And then she lets go. Guess what she just did? She submitted to you. Maybe not in the kinky way that you're imagining or fantasizing about, but she submitted to you when she challenged you and you didn't back down or move or lash out or fall apart, and then what you were going to do anyway is still what happens. She submitted to you. That's where you have to start. That's where you have to start. Every single time that she tests you and you don't react, she submits to you, and she learns when things go just fine that she's safe. Her whole nervous system starts to recalibrate. Everything starts to feel safer to her when you stop reacting. If you collapse, you get angry. Her body confirms its old story. I'm not safe here. And so this is why you don't try to force yourself not to react, because now she feels you there too. You can't get away with anything here. You have to fall apart and take responsibility for the place where you fall apart. But her testing, guys, it isn't drama, it's biology, and it's actually the path to the first steps of her real life actual submission. So if you can, the next time that she tests you, that she questions you, that she nags you, whatever, see if you're able to not brace against it, not fight, not roll your eyes, not react, but just listen. See it for what it is, her looking to see if you're going to wobble or not. And see if you can meet that moment with calm. Or, if not, listen to your body and see what it's telling you. See what you can learn about yourself and what exactly is the reaction you feel, so you can investigate why. That's where you start to make the real difference, because then if you can get to the bottom of that, sort out why you feel so uncomfortable with her questioning you, with her reacting to you. If you can sort that out, and then next time, when she bumps up and pushes that same button of yours, the button's not there. And you just keep right on doing what you were doing. But she can't let go into nothingness. She can only let go into presence. That's where your real power lives. Your presence plays the biggest role in this whole thing. As I said before, she doesn't need you to be perfect, guys. But she does need you to be there. To actually be there. To not run away into your head. Not trying to figure out what to say or how to say it. Not numbed out, boozed out, playing video games, scrolling on your phone and half listening to her. Just here. Really, here with her. Most men think that dominance is all about control. It's really not. Control, you have all the control that you will ever need when you can be fully present in the moment, so you can make an honest decision. You don't need to try to take control of anything, because you're already always leading when you're present. And your presence matters to her body. Again, this isn't about getting her to agree to something. This isn't about words. This is sensation. This is energy. This is deeper than just filling out a BDSM contract template. Consent is essential, but it's only the front lawn of the house of what it really means to go deep in any sort of a power exchange dynamic. Just because she consents to something doesn't mean that she's actually going to feel that way. And as much as we hate this, guys, her feelings matter. They're real. They're not just these illogical things that need to be dealt with and gotten out of the way. You can say all the right things to her. You can do everything right. You can get consent right. You can do all of that stuff. But if your energy says, I'm not comfortable, I'm not okay, I need to fix this, that you can't handle life, she's going to tighten up. She's going to resist. She's going to back away. Even the things she agreed to, she won't be able to follow through on. Or if she does follow through on them, she's going to do it and maybe regret it later. Because what was actually there didn't feel the way she thought it was going to feel. And maybe that has something to do with you. But if you can learn presence, if you can learn to be here, to be in the moment, to be in your body, to be able to be solid, regardless of what's going on around you, again, that gives her the opportunity to relax. Think of presence, guys, as like absolutely still water. When you are still inside of yourself, she can see her reflection clearly. She can see herself clearly in you. When you have ripples on the surface of yourself, tension, anxiety, neediness, the reflection she's getting is distorted, and she loses trust. That's why the most powerful men, the most powerful dominants, are not the loudest men in the room. They're the men who are the most calm, the most still, the most present. Because that says to a woman's energy systems that you're not going anywhere. You can move, you can cry, you can be chaotic, you can have all the emotions, you can melt. I've got you. Every time that you can stay grounded when she wavers, her body learns something new. It learns that you don't abandon her when she's messy. It learns that you don't fall apart when she's emotional. It learns that you can hold her chaos without collapsing or getting overrun by it. That's how trust is built, for real. Not through promises, but repetition, by showing up in all of those moments and just being there consistently. You can try to act like a dom. You can speak in your dom voice. You can use dom language. But you're just trying to fake confidence. Women know the difference instantly. When it's real, it's grounded. When it's a performance, it's just a shell. It's just a show. What I've had to learn for myself is that when Dawn is in a big emotional storm, and guys, she has these all the time, still, every part of me wants to fix it. But when I indulge that, I'm showing her that I'm not okay unless she is different. And all that does is not only make her more upset, but it also shows her that the reason she was feeling upset in the first place was justified. Learning to be able to be present creates a container, a safe place for her surrender. And this has to be deeper than just what you do. You cannot fake this. This is about who you are. It's about who you become. And, this next section here, I don't want to reinforce the idea of perfectionism. But it's absolutely true that even the smallest cracks in your presence are going to make her body tighten. You can do a lot of things right. You can be very calm. You can be very grounded, very intentional. I know a lot of the very spiritual men, what we jokingly call the man bun crowd, have some of these pieces of their inner strength very well sorted out. But they still have a challenge with a woman actually letting go in his presence. And then they start to get frustrated. And then they start to get down on themselves because they're not supposed to be frustrated. But sometimes it's just small, subtle ways that you are feeling unsafe inside of yourself without even realizing it. These little micro movements of ego, these little echoes of old habits of self-protection or discomfort with certain pieces of your overall strength and masculinity. But you don't get away with them. Her body feels every single one. Her body cannot let go into uncertainty. So, here's an example. If you say to her, "Don't worry, I've got this, I'll take care of it," but you haven't actually already made a plan, she doesn't believe you. She might believe you that you're going to take care of it, that you're going to make a plan, but there's a difference between saying that you're going to and actually having it sorted out before you say anything, having your words and your actions line up. Structure creates freedom. Without some sort of clear direction, her surrender, again, is going to feel like she's jumping off of a cliff. So if she's freaking out and you take a deep breath, you step away, you make a plan, and you come back and say, "Here's what we're going to do." Now she's going to feel you very differently. You're not making promises that you have yet to deliver on. You are delivering clarity about what you've already figured out. Might seem like a subtle shift, but it's a big one, and you will feel it in her. Here's another example. She gets emotional. When she's emotional, she's not attacking you, she's releasing pressure. But if you take her feelings personally, or you make how she feels about you, or you defend yourself, now she feels responsible for your emotions. Now she feels like she upset you, when what she was feeling probably had nothing to do with you. But not only did you make her feel unsafe by reacting, now you also gave her an upset man who she needs to take care of. You don't need to take her emotions in and make them about you. You need to stay solid in yourself and witness them without breaking. Let her emotion move without making it about you. Here's another way. Impatience. Impatience is what happens when a man leads from his ego instead of from his soul. When you're impatient, you start to think that I'm doing everything right. Why isn't she coming along? Why isn't she responding? I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And your frustration with her slowness tells her body one thing, that your leadership is about what you're getting. It's about validation. It's about getting approval. It's about getting something from her. Your ego is trying to get her to surrender because you need something out of her surrender. And when you need something out of her surrender doesn't feel safe because it's conditional. Because you're being manipulative. Leading from presence, leading from true dominance, means that you're leading because you lead. You're leading because you know what's right and you know where you're going. And when you trust yourself that deeply, you can let her follow or not. You can allow her to come at her own pace. Your leadership is about you and your direction for yourself and your life. You don't become a leader because you have a follower. You gain a follower because you are leading. Subtle shift, but it'll make a big difference in her ability to let go of control. Same thing happens if you start to crave her submission as some sort of a proof that you are doing dominance right. When you do that, you've given her control because her validation now is the thing that is required in order for you to feel dominant. You are putting yourself into a state of codependency with her, and you're labeling it dominance. The very moment that you shift inside of yourself, where your sense of self depends on her submission, her softness, when your worth depends on her submission, now she holds the burden of having to do it right in order for you to show up for her. And guess what she's going to do? She's going to tighten up. She's going to pull back. She's going to feel that lack of integrity, that lack of solidity in you. Because now she's responsible for your safety. She's responsible for you rather than you taking care of her. So you have to lead because it's who you are, not because of what you're getting from her. You will never follow your way into leadership. Just like I tell women, you will never lead your man to a point where you can submit to him. One last example here. Over-explaining yourself. Might seem subtle, but your words cannot get you there. You can't think your way there. You can't talk your way there. You can't write your way there. You can't communicate your way there. She needs to feel safe, which means you have to be safe. And in order for you to be safe for her, you have to be safe inside of yourself. So the moment you start trying to explain yourself, the moment you start trying to convince her or get her to agree to something rather than actually just being it, you're speaking to her mind, not her body. You have to lead with your energy first. Then let the reactions, the conversation happen later. Speak when it adds clarity, not when you're trying to earn reassurance or when you are trying to convince her of something. So let's start to wrap this up here. What is it that she needs to feel safe enough to surrender? Every woman who wants to submit, to surrender, to let go of control, at some level is asking one question: can I trust this? It doesn't matter if she loves you. It doesn't matter if she likes what you have to say. It matters how her body feels in your presence. And you can't answer that question by words or intentions or promises. You can only answer that question by what she feels like over time. Safety isn't built overnight. It's not built through reassurance. It's not built through conversation. It's built by showing up over and over and over and over. If she doesn't trust you easily, don't take it personally. It's not about you. She's been disappointed before. She's been let down. She's been dropped. Sometimes by men, sometimes by life itself, maybe even by you. Your job isn't to erase that history or talk her out of it. It's to evolve enough in yourself that you can create new evidence. This is hard for her. This is really, really hard for her, guys. There's so much uncertainty in men. There's so much uncertainty in the world. And a feminine woman cannot relax into uncertainty. She needs direction. She doesn't need to be forced. She doesn't need to be convinced. She doesn't need to be dominated. She needs to be held. That is the most dominant move that you can make. She needs to know that you've thought ahead. That's holding her. This isn't just about hugging her. Okay? Holding her is things like thinking ahead, making a plan, having a strategy, knowing and trusting yourself that you can handle what comes. Setting a direction doesn't mean control. It means you're leading. And you can lead with flexibility. Having a plan doesn't mean that you have to be inflexible and force everything into that plan. Setting a structure, setting a plan means that there is something real. And then things are going to change. Life is uncertain. But guess who steps forward every time there's uncertainty and takes care of it? You do. You have to water your plants. I love that statement. You have to water your plants, meaning you have to put attention on the things that matter to you. Let her feel that you're thinking about her. Let her feel that you are planning. Let her feel that things are happening without her having to think about them, or without her having to do them, or without her having to double check. Let her feel that. Let her feel where your attention is going. Take it out of your damn phone. Take your attention out of your video games. Give some to her. Give some to making her life easier. When you set structure, when you take care of things, when you take care of her, you're not confining her or minimizing her. You're giving her some evidence that she doesn't have to do it all. And the other ingredient to this is emotional attunement. You've heard me say this statement, if you've listened to this podcast for very long at all, that a woman needs to feel you feeling her. Her body opens when she feels felt. Not analyzed, not understood, not fixed, not managed, but felt. Your attunement, that's your ability to stay connected to her emotional state without losing yourself in it. It is your capacity to feel her fully, even when she's really intense. And the more that you build this capacity, the more the intensity is going to rise up in her. When she feels safe to express herself, you're going to see what she's been holding down to protect you. She needs you to be able to feel her fully, even in her intensity, even in her chaos, without getting swept away, without getting knocked over. If you try to fix her, she'll feel unseen. If you try to help her understand what's going on and make everything make logical sense, she's going to feel that you don't feel her. But can you have empathy? Can you have curiosity? When she feels you feeling empathetic towards her experience, feels you staying present with her when she's having that emotional experience, she can move some of that energy that's been stuck, and she can open more. You can't solve her feelings, but all you have to do is stay present enough for her to move through them herself with you there as a witness. And reassure her. Your presence is so reassuring to a woman who is afraid of letting go of control. Her fear is going to show up and flare up in all of these different ways that are very unpredictable. But when you can stay present with her, it's incredibly reassuring to her. It builds trust. When you try to rescue her or fix her, you're implying that she's broken, that there's something wrong with her. But when you can stay present with her, you can give her an opportunity to recognize that she can feel what she feels, and that doesn't make her bad or wrong or a problem or too much. Just your steadiness regulates her faster. And again, I have to come back to this patience thing one last time, guys. Her surrender, her submission isn't an event. It doesn't happen when she puts on a collar. It doesn't happen when she signs a contract. The feminine body does not relax on command. It relaxes in response to consistency. Every moment that you show up calm when she expects you to collapse or to lash out, her body takes note. Every time you tell the truth instead of trying to appease her, her body takes note. Every time you follow through on what you say, every time you make a plan, every time that you are able to hold her when she's falling apart, her body takes note. Trust is built in these little micro moments over time with consistency. That's why for these power exchange relationships, for dominant submissive dynamics to really work, they take time, they take commitment, they take devotion. And when she starts to feel, her body starts to feel the prediction that you're going to be there, that you're going to be okay, that you're going to be calm, that you are going to hold her, that you're going to speak the truth to her, that you're going to follow through, when those are the things that her body starts to expect, now you've gotten somewhere. Now you are a predictably safe entity to her. And now she can actually let go of control, and you don't have to talk her into it. She needs to feel safe to surrender. And the way that she can feel safe is when you build the safety inside of yourself so that she can feel it. When she feels you feeling safe, she doesn't have anything to be afraid of. She doesn't have anything to protect herself against. And then the reasons that she tries to control start to melt away. And she still has work to do. You can create the safest, strongest, most grounded environment. You can open the door. You can invite her in. You can do all of your part. She still has to walk through. That's not a limitation of your power. That is the beauty of the fact that she remains, even in submission to you, a sovereign being. Real submission is not submission to you. It's submission to the truth as it flows through you. You can only do your part. These things will go together. Each time that one of you grows, the other one will be called to expand. You can't force that. It just takes time. Her work is not to please you. It's to face the parts of herself that can't yet trust, that are still gripping, that are still protecting, that are still performing. Submission means letting go of control, giving of yourself, and that terrifies the part of her that needed control to survive. So when she clings to old patterns, when she overthinks, when she manages, when she corrects you, when she shuts down, this isn't disobedience. This isn't her being a bad submissive. It's her nervous system remembering pain. It is her work to stay present with that fear and allowing herself to build some new evidence that she's safe. You cannot pull her through that threshold. You can't push her over it. The only thing you can do is stand on the other side of it. Calm, patient, solid, unwavering, until she chooses to step forward. Over time, her process is going to be non-linear. Sometimes she's going to open and it's going to feel beautiful, and she's going to close back down and it's going to feel like something was ripped out from underneath you. That's the rhythm of her body. You have to understand her cycle. You have to understand how she moves and changes throughout the month. Things that you can do in a day might take her an entire month because of the way that her hormones cycle throughout a month. But again, you can create safety, you can lead, you can hold her, you can do everything right. But it's up to her to choose to stop fighting herself. Her surrender is a practice, just like presence is your practice. You can't do it for her. She can't make you stronger for you either. This dynamic really starts to work, and she really starts to be able to let go of control when you are fully engaged in your side of the work. Then she can stop worrying about needing to fix you or caretake you, and she can start doing hers. You go first. We always go first. It is the masculine's role to go first. And then when she surrenders with trust, you will feel that it's real. And that is the kind of control you actually want her to let go of. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Dom Sub Devotion. I'll see you next week.